I realised quite early on in my job that women were reporting issues of not feeling safe in psychiatric wards. And this was something early on in sort of my days working at the Mental Health Legal Centre. And it is not something that has improved over the 21 years that I've been working at the centre.
As I said, even today people are still reporting that they continue to feel unsafe on wards and are talking about sexual assault, sexual harassment and lack of privacy.
Hilary and I both saw the 7:30 report on the VMIAC report saying, 45% sexually assaulted, 65% sexually harassed, 85% feel physically threatened, and it blew my mind. We're both mentally ill young women, and the reality of that is that it's, it could be us.
We have 25 people a year suicide within 5 weeks of discharge from hospital. I think that's outrageous, and I think that those things can happen because you can pretty much pick up any medical file in this state and you will rarely find a sentence about how the person's feeling.
It's about them losing control of where they can allowed to be because they can be forced into hospital, of what medicines go in their body. And certainly we've had a number of women who've had either direct assault issues or just bloody uncomfortable about having forced into a place with 12 to 20 guys who are, by definition, not in best control of themselves.
They decide to merge mental health with alcohol and other drugs. Unfortunately, what we find is very difficult patients who are on the newer forms of drugs. Not only are they psychotic, we had one situation where one of the male advocates used to boast about the fact that when he couldn't get a fuck, he'd book himself into hospital.
And I think I can speak for other family members in the broader community with their loved ones that they do fear for what could happen in the wards from a big, strong psychotic male who's drug affected as well and would have, I imagine, in many circumstances, no sense of responsibility for his actions.
Families are concerned that those environments don't feel safe. Particularly if you think of young women who then would go to an adult ward. That can be more confronting for the family than the actual hospital experience and the experience of mental illness, is that they were suddenly on a ward with much, much older men. I think there's also a cultural demand that we need to be more sensitive to the needs of women from different cultural backgrounds.
If, God forbid, my daughter went to a psych hospital, I'd absolutely want her to be in a women's ward or a women-only hospital. I believe that there's going to be change in society when the ordinary voter believes that something will affect them and their family.
The state of a person's mental health is not an excuse for violence against women.
If you had the number of sexual assaults occurring in a general hospital like they occur in a psych hospital, it would have been fixed years ago.
I don't think we're acknowledging that people who are already mentally fragile and frail are at great risk physically. I don't ever want to hear about another problem of another woman being attacked in a psych ward because she's got enough troubles as it is.
This complete inability to take the problem seriously and to treat the problem, because the issue of mental illness itself is seen as something to be hidden. That stigma kills people. It has killed people I know, and it will continue to do so until we accept that mental illness is not something to be ashamed of. I'm honestly speechless that there were single-sex wards and they got rid of them.
It's a huge issue. Why didn't I know about it?